Hi, and thanks for your interest in getting to know a little bit more about my story and how I ended up doing the work that I do. So, I started marketing ever since 2018 when I was a sophomore going on to a junior at the University of California, Berkeley, and I found a need in the market there where there were musicians who had a platform, they had music that they wanted to share, they had an impact that they wanted to bring into the world, yet didn't have a framework for doing that, for producing that kind of music, for marketing themselves in that way. So I started my first company, Golden Records, in 2018 with a partner of mine. And I was a physics major at the time. And I found it very meaningless. And I found the work of engaging with creatives, of creating an impact and doing things better in service of other people to be way more purposeful and way more meaningful to me. So I started to neglect my physics studies, and instead I actually enrolled myself in the online Harvard marketing seminars or marketing lectures. So I would illegally download all their marketing books, Philip Kotler, the grandfather of marketing, all his textbooks, and I took the curriculum of Harvard marketing, and that's kind of how I got to be where or that's from where I created the original frameworks for my company, Golden Records. And we quickly found that the music industry was a very well-oiled, very inertia-heavy system in that there were key players, nodes in the system that refused to change, and they had a lot of power. And it was incredibly difficult to influence those nodes, and we didn't have the resources to create that kind of influence. So my partner and I decided to split ways. He went off to pursue his music career. He's doing fantastic. He played Coachella recently. And I went on to engage with marketing in business in general. So I took what I had learned in that journey and started to approach businesses with it. And I was able to work with some very big companies and also very small companies. So very big companies, I found, for example, one we worked with was a huge printer distributor. They sold printers, like those giant printers, some of them going for around $300,000 for a printer. And their clients were people like McDonald's, Nike, El Pollo Loco. So it was really cool to see that aspect of it. But the work I was engaged with there was about automations. It was about creating more efficiency. And the work when I worked with smaller practices, smaller businesses, one of them was a small dental office. Another was a marriage coach. And, you get the idea, like realtors, very small, individual, where the focus wasn't so much on the scale. And what I found was that that was much more meaningful, that the individuals who were there to create an impact, to see the status quo and think to themselves, hey, there's a better way of doing it. There's a better way of doing things. I wanted to support those people. And so I decided to best support those people, I should probably pick one industry, see how far, how deeply I could support one industry, and then in the future, hopefully expand. And that industry happened to be dentistry. I happened to reach out to an acquaintance of mine who I had shadowed because during my time at Berkeley, my parents urged me to try dental mentorship. So it was the Korean American Dental Association's something mentorship, and I was able to shadow doctors. And so I reached out to him, worked on his practice website, and that began my journey into dental marketing. And I noticed from the start that there were a lot of problems with dental marketing. And it wasn't until recently where I feel like I've developed a framework, where I feel like I've truly learned enough to create something that can have an impact. Because when I was working with him like one-on-one, and like a few other dental clients that I worked with after that, I started to notice that what the market was doing, what the dental industry, what the marketers in the dental industry were promoting and having people do was very ineffective, very inefficient, and it felt kind of wrong. People were being told to do things. For a good example is SEO. So SEO has been around for a while, and dental practice owners are being hypnotized to believe that SEO is the path forward. But right around 2018, when I started marketing Golden Records, was when SEO started dying off. So when I came and implemented these ideas into dentistry, I realized that it wasn't working well. So we were doing well with SEO, like we were able to get clients to the top 3 keywords for, top 3 rank for the most valuable keywords, but the results weren't coming in. And I saw similar things in a lot of dentist or marketing in dentistry, where old ideas that weren't effective anymore, were still being perpetuated, mostly by the industry that provided that, but also from like well-intentioned people who it worked for in the past, but they're not marketers, they're doctors first, so they didn't understand that they were, with the best intentions, perpetuating something that stopped working. So that led me to this journey of trying to solve new patient acquisition. I made that my focus. I added on new services, so it was like websites, it was copywriting, it was SEO, advertising on Google, and then advertising on Facebook, lead generation, even expanding to offering things like photography and videography, because it was all in service of that one problem, which was new patient acquisition. And then I had a revelation. Well, it didn't like strike me like lightning. I happened to stumble upon ideas and marketing concepts and frameworks that were built around something completely different. And that was word of mouth referrals, just for marketing. It's something ancient that we knew was to be so valuable. And I realized that we as an industry had lost sight of it. So my focus became not just about new patient acquisition, but it became about word of mouth referrals. Because if we can create word of mouth referrals, that is your new patient acquisition, right? It's a paradigm above new patient acquisition. It envelops new patient acquisition. So in my journey to work with dentists to solve this problem, I've made a lot of shifts. And that shift primarily happened when I worked with a client and I didn't get the results that I promised him. Because I truly believed in what I was doing at the time, which was new patient acquisition, building traffic, building funnels, and all this stuff. And it didn't work for him. So it was a very big dose of reality where I realized, okay, something has to change. And I started to obsess new patient acquisition. And then one day we received a client from a very well-known agency in the dental marketing place who came to us because they weren't getting the results, and she ended up working with me. I looked into all of what that notable agency was doing, because that client had carried over all the how they set things up and all that stuff, and I found it to be even worse than how we had set things up. And that's when I realized, oh, it's not that, like we've fundamentally focused on the wrong thing. And so that led me to the work of developing the course. And the purpose of the course was to help owners graduate marketing so that they wouldn't have to rely on advertising, rely on the old methods, or even rely on agencies like mine. So my purpose became, how can we help people generate word of mouth? And for me, selfishly, if I can help people do that, then everyone's going to come to me and ask for help with that, because I think at the end of the day, that's really what people want, like practice owners like you want, is we don't care about running ads. We don't care about traffic, about reviews and all these things. What we care at the end of the day is, are you making an impact? Do you have the number of patients to sustain you and even thrive from? And so my goals shifted, and that's kind of how I ended up here doing what I am doing now, and that's why that course exists. So thanks for paying attention to me for these couple of minutes and paying with your time, attention, and energy. Really appreciate it, and I welcome you to this space, this virtual thing that is our agency, where we're trying to do stuff a little bit differently. So if you take the course, you're gonna see the framework that I have, the framework that I'm trying to build, and I'm continuously trying to evolve this. So I released version 1, which was strictly the frameworks. And now I'm currently working on version 2, which is taking those frameworks and making it a little bit more applicable. And then there's probably going to be a version 3, a version 4, and so on. So take the course, and if you don't find it useful, if for some reason you can't connect the dots, let me know, get in touch with me. You can email me, I'll put my email somewhere in the description below, and you can reach out with any questions and I'd be happy to answer them personally. And finally, we have a community. So I think a lot of people want this outcome. They want to engage in marketing in the context of graduation. They don't want to be reliant on an agency or advertising for the rest of their careers. And this is a possibility I truly believe in. So I made a community. I'll put that in the link in the description below as well. So it's going to be free to join. You join it and you're going to meet like-minded people who are pursuing that same path. You're going to meet peers of yours. And the goal of that community is so that we can share ideas, to share what's working and what's not working, so that we can break ground to creating this, right? This isn't, if you care about traffic, if you care about getting new patients right now, a bit more short-term stuff, there's a need for that, I get it. This isn't for you, unfortunately. This is for people who want to create longevity, who want to be self-sustaining, and who want to lead and create a new framework, make it a possibility to be part of this possibility where dental practices can graduate from marketing. All right, so I hope you join us there. Thanks for checking us out, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks.